Students, welcome to Masterclass. Produced by Victoire. The Masters of Wrestling gives a special thanks to Mr. Jesse Hernandez.
Students, welcome back to another episode of Masterclass. So, belts in professional wrestling and what they mean in this day and age. We're going to be going into that, of course, with one of the AEW stars, Mercedes. I forget her last name, Matthew. What is it? Mercedes Monroe?
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. That's okay. The fans know. Don't worry. They know what you're talking about.
You guys know, whatever her last name is. I'm one of your co-stars, the Master Amir, along with my co-star all the way from Canada, the bodacious suave, Matthew Jacobs.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here with you, buddy. Just hanging out. And I tell you what, I'm glad that we've got all of you, our viewers, here. And viewers, remember, smash that subscribe button, hit the like, share with your friends and family. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Hit the join button where we've got exclusive content. And before we take one step further, Matthew, let me make that statement again about our new direction here at the Masters of Wrestling. We here at the Masters of Wrestling think you're tired of having your intelligence insulted. We think that you're bored to death of the good guy and the bad guys and the ass kissers and the renegades. We want to make it perfectly clear to you right now that we are the truth seekers. We are considered the renegades, and we will bring you nothing but unfiltered, unbridled, raw, intense truth. So when you come here looking for true professional wrestling news, stories, reflections, opinions, that's exactly what you're going to find. And on that note, Matthew, let's talk about this lady, Melissa Malone, or Mercedes, whatever.
Where are you going there, pal?
I don't know, whatever her name is.
Sasha Banks.
There you go. That's easier to remember, right?
There you go. Same here. Very easy to remember.
So Sasha Banks, she has about 500 belts that she's carrying right now, or somewhere near that number.
I counted 514 to be exact. Is what I counted.
14?
514 is what I counted.
514 belts. Wow.
So, you missed a few.
I missed a few, and she must be so proud that these companies wrote into the storyline that she would be that champion. So,
as a fan, you're not proud?
I'm disgusted at this point because at the end of the day, what do any of these belts mean anymore? She's carrying 514 of them.
From what company? Like all over?
I don't know. I thought she was in AEW. This is what I thought.
Well, you're right. She is in AEW, but I believe AEW talent, you're allowed to take indie bookings also.
Right. Okay.
So if she has 514 belts, I'm going to say she's traveling the world on weekends to do indie shows to get more money.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah.
And because I guess she's the top draw, she's stealing the belt with her.
Wow. How inconsiderate is that to all the other talent on the indies out there? And I'm sure these people are cheering for her while they're stealing their belts.
Wow. She has a name, right? Wow. She does have a name. I mean, if I walked in, it won't be the same, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I don't understand it. It's for what? What's your intent? Why do you need all these belts? What are you trying to prove?
Mm-hmm.
You're in the big leagues, so-called. You made it to the big leagues. You're in AEW. They got a big name. Why are you taking these indie belts for? Give the opportunity to the young generation that are busting their hump for little money. It doesn't make any sense to me, unless I don't have the whole story straight, which is very possible because I don't really follow it. But I mean, you should not have more than one title. I don't care who you are.
Well, no, even in the WWF, remember Warrior and Hogan. Once Warrior won the world title, they took the Intercontinental title off the Warrior. Does it make sense? Like, why would you need to carry both belts? Right.
Well, I got one for you. You're an encyclopedia. Yeah. So Shawn Michaels was the European champion.
Yes.
When he beat Bret Hart here in Montreal.
Right.
The world champion.
Yeah.
How did he get rid of the European title?
Damn it.
And who did it go to?
Did it not go to Triple H?
More BS, right? What does that tell you? More
Right.
friggin'
I
BS.
think it went to Triple H, right? Because they were both in DX. Yeah, it's weird because I kind of vaguely remember that when you brought it up, it rung a bell. I remember that whole tournament they did for Davey in Europe, which was
Yes.
phenomenal. Him that the Owen Hart match.
Great match.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
your buddy was blowing up in that match. I don't know if you know that, eh? Bulldog.
The Bulldog, yeah, yeah,
You noticed like him like wiping the salt off his arms
yeah,
to, and
yeah,
Owen would have to put him like in chin locks to like slow the pace down.
yes, yes. Well, Davey was getting big at that time, and he was
No,
getting,
and listen, it happens, right? It
yeah.
happens. I mean, we were fans. We didn't even know at the time. I
Mhm.
only know about it now because I'm a little wiser and more handsome. Where I can know these tricks.
Right. Well, yes, of course. But also, it's not just a trick because, as you and I know, being schooled by some of the best, that's why this is masterclass, is you're meant to slow down a story. It's not meant to be 100 miles an hour every second of the damn match. That's not the way it's meant to be. So it's true art form, true storytelling, like our dear friend Austin Aries says, the true art of professional wrestling, is to tell a story. It's psychology. It's slowing it down. It's letting a moment simmer, letting the crowd digest, feeling it out. So, but going back to that Davey Owen match, I watched that a few months ago actually. And it was again, I don't believe in 5-star rating BS because we don't believe in Dave Meltzer here. But it was a darn good story. Let's just put it that way.
It was because they were also tag team champions. They were both kind of like heels. You never saw heels fight each other.
No.
And their brother-in-laws. Is this really happening? And then the handshake, and it was
Yeah.
great.
It was good, man. And like you said, that's when belts meant something. That's when someone won the WWF title. I'm going to say WWF because I just can't even stand saying WWE. It just sounds so false because we grew up saying WWF, right? Which on a side tangent here, Matthew. WWE. What's the point of saying WWE? There's no E in the logo. It's just two W's. That's it. There's no E. What's the point?
I
Do they ever say, here's the World Wrestling Entertainment Champion? No. They always say the W. You're going to say, what are you going to say, Matthew?
I don't know. You're right, man. I didn't. You know what? I didn't know that until you brought it up on the show
Mm-hmm.
a couple months ago, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's true!" And I googled it. You're right. So, guys out there, I have two things I want you to do: Google the WWE logo and find where the E is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give someone else something. When a FedEx truck passes by you, try to find the arrow in FedEx.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do that now. I actually want to do it right now, but I can't because we're doing this episode, but very interesting. Yeah, so that's Matthew's challenge to all of you students out there. Find the arrow in FedEx and tell us where's the E in the WWE logo? Because I don't know. I can't see it. If I can't see it right away, then that means it's not there. I don't believe in this subliminal crap.
You're right. You're
You
right.
know?
Let's not get off topic here because
Yeah.
I got a few questions. If you have 514 belts, that means you're a 514 time loser, right? Because you're gonna have to lose it eventually.
Absolutely. She just buried herself.
Now, I don't know. What's the point? You get all these belts, but eventually you're gonna have to lose it, and then doesn't it? Would it? If you're gonna lose and lose and lose and lose, give all those belts away, doesn't it hurt your credibility?
Well, I think she's one of these individuals that doesn't care about credibility because if she did, she wouldn't have agreed to win all those belts in the first place. This is what bothers me about some of some of the wrestlers that have made it to the top is they really don't, if you analyze it, they really don't care about the business as much as what they project that they do. Because if they did, they try to protect the integrity of the business by saying, no, that's a stupid idea. I'm not going to take I already have a belt in the company I'm at. And if they think that's a good storyline as a gimmick, then they are the most immature producers writing those storylines that I've ever freaking heard of, because that does not make for a good storyline. It's like you and I often said, if someone like Pat Patterson or the old bookers like that, or even guys like Roddy Piper or the performers, they would be shaking their heads if they saw the utter nonsense that is being projected on television today. They would.
I agree because you know what? These people, like you just mentioned, Roddy Piper, Yeah, he's a one-time Intercontinental Champion, but he never got a belt other than that.
No, but he didn't need it.
Yeah, but hang on. I agree with you. Like Jake the Snake Roberts, he didn't need it, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh yeah, he didn't need it. He had the snake, $1 million man. Yeah, he didn't need it. He had his $1 million man. But you know what? They weren't paid like champions because if you got the belt, you would have had a bigger pay.
Right. There's a
So
difference
you
back
know
then.
what? If you ask Jake the Snake, for example, he's gonna say, "Well, why couldn't I get it? Because I'd rather have the belt than carry that stupid snake around."
Yeah, you've
You
got
know.
more money.
But I understand what you're saying as a character standpoint. You didn't need it, but you know what? Their bank account, I'm sure they would have liked the raise.
hmm Matthew, I got to pose a question to you. Who out of all the champions in the history of the WWF or even WCW, who epitomized the greatest, in terms of respect, who looked like the part, who looked like a champion? Who was your favorite champion?
Do we even have to ask this question? The
Oh, I
fans don't
just
know.
walked into it. Yes. The Hitman, Bret Hart. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But I mean, there's a lot of people that I wish that got a title shot
Mhm.
and an opportunity. I wish Owen Hart would have got the world title. I'm a big fan of Adam Bomb. I wish Adam
Mhm.
Bomb would have got more credibility. Brian Pillman, you know, there's a lot of people that just didn't get it, you know.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, Brett was always my guy.
Mhm.
I mean, I really believe he stood for everything that was real. That was a real hero and a real champion, and he cared about it.
Yeah.
And he cared about his fans. And I'll tell you guys something that he said that is so true that I don't think a lot of wrestlers um, use. But Brett always says, guys, hold on to your fans as long as you can because they will take you as far as you can go.
hmm Amen. You
And
know,
I believe that.
Yeah, Brett is to me an enduring legacy. He is probably exactly what he said, the greatest of all time. I've never, when I was younger, I always appreciated Brett. Of course, I was more drawn to the pop and circumstance of Warrior and Savage and all that kind of crazy look. But as I've matured, you know, the legacy of Bret Hart, the truly wrestling's greatest family, the Hart family. There's never been another family like it. Bret Hart is the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be because of the professionalism. Like you said, when I asked you that question, I started thinking, well, who was my favorite champion? Well, someone on a similar trajectory to Bret, in fact, because they had a match at SummerSlam 91, it was Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. Because when Perfect carried that IC belt was, to me, it was as big as the world title. He made it as big as the world title because he was such a great entertainer, such a great performer, such a great storyteller. And he held that belt with class, even though he was a heel. He held it
Yeah.
with a certain dignity about him. But it meant, it was like, wow, that's the Intercontinental Champion, Mr. Perfect.
Do you remember his promo before the match?
He said the wrestling belt says IC champion on it, and it says winner on it, and for you to be a winner, or something like that.
Yes, you're right. So it's like it says like champion.
Yeah,
You are excellent, but you're not
perfect.
perfect.
Classic,
Oh, it was
classic
so
performance.
good. You don't
Yeah,
see any of this today. It's
yeah.
so trash, eh?
Yeah,
But
it's true, man. It's like, gosh, that could be a whole other episode, ladies and gentlemen. Also, before we go any further, make sure you slap your super stickers because we want to engage with you here at the Masters of Wrestling. We want you to write in your questions, which we will answer on future episodes. Make sure you slap a super sticker with it because, like Vince Russo says, we're working here. Okay, this is time, money, and effort. So if you want your
let's
question,
let's let's tell them why exactly. We want your guys. We want your questions. We want to know what you like about wrestling, what you don't like about wrestling, your favorite era, your favorite wrestlers, your favorite titles. We'll talk about anything, guys. We want you part of the show with us.
yeah. This is a community, Matthew. The Masters of Wrestling is a growing community. As I dropped the announcement on our other episode there, pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen, as the details come in, I will reveal them. But the Masters of Wrestling is going to be coming from the podcast realm into reality. That's right, because we're going to be producing our own wrestling shows and we're going to give you the venue dates. We're going to be hiring the best talent that Southern California and the surrounding communities can offer. We're going to be producing TV style wrestling in an indie setting with high definition cameras, promos, backstage interviews. It's going to be the way you like wrestling, the way you remember it. Classic. What are you going to show us there, Matthew?
Guys, make sure you pick up your copy here of WWE performer Natalia.
The
I
last
saw
heart.
her on, yeah, I saw her on Friday. Sweetheart, she's the last heart for me to meet. I've met the family, plenty of them. She was the only one I never met. So I saw her on Friday. Lovely human being, sweet. So yeah, guys, get out there, support her.
Yeah.
That's a real wrestler in the women's division, not whatever we're talking about here. Natalia deserves 514 belts, not you know, the stuff that she's had to do and train and put people over. And then you have Sasha Banks just giving stuff or what? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to say this, but because you're Snoop Dogg's cousin or something, because you have a name like.
Is she? I didn't even know that.
Legend has it. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Hmm.
But where's the hard work paying off nowadays, right?
Well, there's a lot of people like that, Matthew. They get 15 minutes of fame. They think they're hot shots.
Hey,
And
don't start. Don't
yeah,
start. Hey,
yeah,
don't get going.
but it's true, It's like, like you said, she may be associated with somebody and it just puts her up there. But at the end of the day, it's like I've said a million times, Matthew, and I've been told a million times, the cream will always rise to the top. And those who are not, their 15 minutes will come and go. And I believe that Mercedes Malone or whatever her name is, Sasha Bankrupt, whatever her name is, right? It's her day is over. It was over the minute she left WWE. It was done. So, but you're right.
Yeah.
Natalia Hart, she deserves to have done a lot more in her career than what they gave her, they allowed her to do. And it's just, again, the Hart family, I can't say nothing bad about the Harts, man. They are, to me, the greatest family in professional wrestling history, period. No one else. That's it.
You're gonna get slandered for saying that. You know that, eh?
I'm going to get slandered by who? By who?
I'll back you up though. I mean, I agree. I mean, I'm Canadian. You're dead on, but I don't agree that the Rhodes are the best family, because if you asked that question 10 years ago, the Rhodes name never would have been brought up.
Well, that's just marketing right there. That's all that is, Matthew.
Exactly.
Marketing. It's if you say it enough, people believe it. Which is it's the recipe for marketing. It's what ad companies do for people all the time. So as you're watching this video or whatever, if you watch TV or now it's worse because the algorithm can pick what it wants you to buy. So it can put subliminal messages into you. So yeah, again, Dusty Rhodes, fantastic. Dustin Rhodes, fantastic. Cody Rhodes, yeah.
Good work. He's a good worker.
Good worker, but I lost respect from him when he walked away.
Sold out.
Yes.
Sold out
from AEW. Yeah. So, regardless, whatever, we're entitled to our opinions. You, the viewers, are entitled to your opinions. We're here to champion quality. What's that, Matthew?
Don't forget to share your opinion, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Debate. We're all here for open debate, open dialogue, man, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no wrong answers. It's a personal opinion. Everyone's a fan of, has a different style of what they like.
Yeah.
So you're invited to let us debate it, try to prove us wrong. Unfortunately, on Masterclass, you're always wrong.
Exactly. On Masterclass, you're always going to be wrong. It doesn't, you can try this way or that way to argue the point, but at the end of the day, you're looking at two schooled, plus with the rest of our team here at the Masters of Wrestling. I mean, true Masters of Wrestling that have been there, done it, got the T-shirt and retired. You're not dealing with guys that have no, sort of background in this. We're talking, I don't know how many combined years of intent knowledge on this business, Matthew, between you and I and everybody on this podcast.
At least a century, no?
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're not dealing with fans here. We're not fans, as Matthew clearly stated earlier. We're not fans. We don't watch. There's a few companies that we watch, and I think you'll know what we're talking about. But
And you know why that is, though, Amir?
yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, but you know why that is? It's because we know what we want to see, and we know wrestling. WWE is not, it's just a Hollywood game now. It's not even wrestling. Why do you have 60 guys in the back and it's a 3-hour show and only like 12 people working?
And
Why
why
is
is
there
it
so much? Why is
why
there
is
so
it
much dial? Why is there so much dialogue?
why is
Why is
it
there so
always
much?
why is it always the same friggin' matches, dude? Why is it always the same bloody match? And why do you get the same match on a pay-per-view as you do on Monday Night Raw? Why are you spending money on a pay-per-view when you just watched it on Monday Night Raw? It's like,
Guys, we lost them. We lost them. Hot now. Let it out there, Amir. You're red. You're becoming red.
I'm becoming red now because I tell you what, it's like, and I was thinking about this earlier. I think eventually there's going to be a civil war in wrestling. And give me the platform for a moment, if you will. Okay. Because years ago, there was the wrestling fan. We were all united, all of us, you, me, Matthew, all the other fans out there that grew up watching it. We all loved the same thing because they put out quality products. Then, ECW came along and it fractured it. It brought a fringe minority who are sadomasochists into the world of pro wrestling, and that split the audience. Then that contingent grew. Then Dave Meltzer came in. He split the audience again with trying to make out that wrestling is an athletic performance, that it's an Olympic sport, and grading it. So he created another breed of wrestling fan. Then you have the casual fan, doesn't really care. They're just looking for something to do on a Saturday night. But then you have us, the traditionalists, the classics, the ones who value true art form, the Austin Aries of the world. And so now you have four different types of wrestling fans, whereas before in the 90s, you only had one, right? So eventually, what's going to happen is going to be a civil war in wrestling because you can't all be united anymore. And that's why, again, ladies and gentlemen, we're not condemning anybody. We're just telling you what we like and what we don't like. That's it. We love pro wrestling. Matthew and I eat, breathe, sleep this. I produce this. I'm putting into as much as we can to serve you, to serve that wrestling contingent. So, but what do you think, Matthew? Do you reckon eventually we're all going to be fighting each other in a civil wrestling war?
Yeah, no holds barred, right?
Yeah,
Might even be an over the top battle royal.
that's right.
And who comes
Ready
out
to
on top?
ready to rumble.
Hopefully David Arquette's not there, right?
Well, I don't know. David did make a comeback, but hey, there you go. You've segued into something else. So, did you see when David Arquette tried to come back in wrestling? Unfortunately, he went the hardcore path and he almost died. Some idiot cut him in the throat.
Yes, I did. Is that Game Changer Wrestling?
I think
Uh,
whatever it is, a bunch of trash.
yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, he shouldn't have done that, but he admitted it. He goes, "I was way in over my head." And but that's the problem too with independent wrestling. You take these bookings and you don't necessarily know what you're getting into, and that's what I hate. That's the one thing I hate about independent wrestling. And
Mhm.
guys, please help me out, Amir.
Yeah.
My fear is you're wrestling somebody you've never wrestled before.
Okay.
Wrestling's a dance, right?
Yep.
It takes one mess up and you're done, right? So they can book me for a show. I have to wrestle something. I don't know how many years experience he has. I don't know. Is his timing good? Is he at the same caliber as me? If we mistime something and he drops me on my head, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know. So I know, like Paul London, for example, he likes to he'll pick his people if someone reaches out. He'll do his research, do his homework, and see. But it's not like WWE where you can practice with that person, you can roll with them. There's discussions. Here, it's like you're brought to this town. Okay, yeah, guys have 10 minutes, figure it out. Well,
Well,
wrestling's live, and it takes one misstep and
well,
change your whole life.
there are some tremendous companies out there. I've had the good fortune. I'm being very particular with the companies I work for right now, but I did just do a show for Rodeo Pro Wrestling in Bakersfield, California. And I will say from top to bottom, the production team, the promoter, the wrestlers, class act all the way. Now that was giving you the time to flesh things out, telling you in advance what's going to happen, mapping out the day. My next booking here, I just got a breakdown of all the matches, the layout of the lamb. Everybody knows what's going on. That's the way it's meant to be done. Like you said, when we do our shows, Matthew, because again, I'm going to announce that the Masters of Wrestling are going to be producing wrestling shows out in Southern California. As the details come in, I'm going to let you know what that is. But when we're going to produce our shows, everything's going to be laid out a month in advance because we're doing monthly shows. It's going to be monthly tapings. Everything's going to be laid out in advance. The matches are the performers are going to get a month to communicate with each other. It's not going to be on the fly at the last minute. And that's how you get good storytelling, and that's how you be safe with your talent. You don't just throw them in randomly at the end. Oh, you're going to face this guy. Well, okay, well, for what reason? Where's
the biggest thing we can say is the Raja thing, right? Look, last minute, and look what happened.
Look what happened. Total chaos, total disaster.
And, there's a lot of egos in wrestling too. Sometimes a guy doesn't want to, give you any offense. He's pissed off. He's in a bad mood. His girlfriend's mad at him. He's going to power bomb you a little bit harder tonight, and you land wrong. It's put the egos aside, boys.
Well, that's another thing that also falls on the promoter too, right? Because if you're a promoter, like look at Vince, right? If you did think, I would always think, what would Vince do in this situation? Okay, you get your performers in, you get your talent in. You're going to be facing him. You're going to be facing him. Any bullshit happens out there, I'm never hiring you again, and I'm going to fine you. I'm not going to pay you. So that's the threat that I'm putting out first and foremost. Any bullshit, I don't want to hear it. You're going over on him. No and ifs or buts about it. All right. So don't give me. I as a promoter would walk around that locker room and make sure everybody knows that. So none of this BS happens. All right. You're working for me. You are working for that promoter, not the other way around. It's not you working for you, going into business for yourself, trying to get yourself over, trying to put the spotlight on you and all that, because that doesn't work. It's a dance, as you and I, Matthew, have said. There's multiple people out there. There's a referee out there. There's commentators out there. It's not all about you. Sorry, child. But yeah, anyway, Matthew, we're going to close out this segment. Any closing comments?
Yeah, I really want to know how she's going to lose all these belts. It's bothering me.
Let's send her a message. Let's send her a
hang on.
message.
Well, if you think of it, she has to be smart then, because then she just guaranteed herself like another full year of bookings on the independents. So that's, who knows what her fee is. Yeah. I heard her fee's pretty high. Yeah, because she for an autograph signing, she was charging like mega bucks, and I heard promoter was like, "What? You're charging that?" So I think her fee's pretty high, but good on her. Let's see, it's all about just cashing in. So that goes back to what you were saying. Like, do you really love the business, or are you just trying to make a fast dollar and get out and greed?
Exactly. The ones who will succeed, the cream that will rise to the top, are people who generally care about the professional business. Much like Matthew and I do. We care about it. We've loved it. We've invested our life into this business. We've invested in the WWE. We've bought their merchandise. We've bought tickets. We've done meet and greets. I've invested my time, effort, energy, and body into the pro wrestling industry. So, but again, that's a lifelong passion. Those that come in who are new to this and they just have a quick, fling with it, as it were. Oh yeah, it's been my dream for, I don't know, 4 years. Well, that's not a dream. That's you trying to make money. Let's call it for what it is. That's not a dream. So, but anyway, thank you so much for joining us, students. We hope that you learned a little bit more. Matthew and I will be back for one more sizzling segment this week. So make sure you smash that subscribe button and tune into that. And again, our intention is never to offend anybody. If we did, well, that's life. At the end of the day, we're here just to express our opinions. We're not here to trigger anybody. We're just calling it. Like I said, we think you're tired of having your intelligence insulted, and we want to give it to you exactly, give you the raw, unfiltered truth, and speak for the demographic of which we fit into. Until next time, everybody, this is Masterclass. Take care, and God bless.
Fans, the time has come for you to flex your appreciation in style. The Masters of Wrestling delivers the most truthful pro wrestling content week in, week out. And now we want you to show your support wherever you go. Power and Glory, the podcast t-shirts. Order yours now. Stylin', the podcast t-shirts. Order yours now. To order your t-shirt and for shipping information, use the email